Hey everybody, welcome back with the Purplatypus, the name, and today we are talking Hasna. One thing I wanted to look at before we take a look at her sprite, you could actually see every now and then, like the little shimmer, if you see there, of the string. I think that's actually a pretty cool little touch there. I like that. You know, they didn't have to do that. It's cool. So if we go look into the hottie with the body, the cutie with the booty, let's take a look at how you could build her. As you can see here, I have some very interesting suggestions. Just kidding. These are placeholders just so I have stuff on her because I'm using all my other stuff. But let's kind of take a look at her. I did a video before, but now we can actually read in the game what she exactly does. And I have used her, so I have a better idea. I'd recommend going to the trial and using her. It makes her a little more powerful than she is. I think they are using her with the focus wand because she has a longer range than you would think. So let's take a look at her trait here. She is immune to blind. Honestly, this is insanely broken, overpowered. I mean, there is so much. Oh, wait, there's no blind in the game besides Miguel. Okay, so this is flavor text. I know there's another character coming up that has blind in their kit with like the bird or something that goes, yeah. So it may, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be relevant. Her magic attacks increased by 3%, goes up to 15%. So this is probably scaling every single star, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So you're getting 3% per star. She inflicts hidden fragrance on all enemies within 3 tiles around her at the end of their turn. So once they go, if they're within 3 tiles of her, they will get hidden fragrance. I think it goes up to 5 tiles. And this is basically I kind of wish the hidden fragrance did something on its own. Hidden fragrance is just a debuff. It doesn't actually do anything itself, but it cannot be dispelled. But basically, when she's around someone that has hidden fragrance, when they're within 3 tiles, they will have their attack and defense decreased by 8%. It goes from 8, and then at 3 stars, it goes to 12, and then with 4 tiles away, and then finally, it'll be 5 tiles away, 15%. So it becomes a huge aura of 15%. Now, this is her whole entire trait reads as complicated in a lot of ways, but it really is almost identical to Magnus's, and his is way less wordy. It's all enemies within 3 tiles have reduced juice. And I think at 5 stars, it's all enemies within 4 tiles of himself have 15% reduced attack and defense. That's basically what it does. Now, what's important though is they do stack. So if you have a Magnus 5-star and you have her at 5-star, you're getting a 30% passive reduction before any debuffs of their attack and their defense. That is actually kind of devastatingly powerful. 30% stats is a lot, but getting both these characters to 5 stars is not exactly realistic. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. So overall, her trait, it's fine, it's good, but most people, if you don't have Magnus, she has higher value for you. If you do have Magnus, this is so see-through, you could see her bottom boob. How is it so that means that you could see, like, you should be able to see her breasts here, but I don't know, man. I don't know why they made it see-through here. I don't know why this is see-through, but this isn't see-through. I'm just saying her outfit is lacking consistency. Come on, guys. But let's actually go into her skills here. So her very first skill is like life loss thing. It's actually like a pretty bad signature skill. Dark Withering isn't a terrible skill, but she doesn't have that high of magic attack basically. And this is just not, I don't think this is a very good skill. It has a huge cooldown. It does about 100% magic attack to all enemies. It's okay on Lash because Lash does an initial like 30% and then it does another 100% over 2 turns, but it's like, it's really slow. I promise you, it's just not that good. I pretty much never use it. Maybe there's a situation and I'm forgetting about it. Rank 1, I am going to say you're going to want to go for the Hypnosis. You're probably not going to use it, but having access to just an attack that can sleep is powerful. Having guaranteed sleep is good. Coco has it as well, but you might not have Coco. If you do have Coco, either way, it's still just kind of nice at a range 3. It can actually go up to range 4, and it could go up to range 5, which is a huge ass range, which we'll talk about in a second here. The other one is just because it sucks, right? Battle Fever and active attack. After you attack, you take 15% less damage. If you crit, you take 25. Additionally, damage taken is decreased by 25%. So I assume that means it's 40%. Not 100% clear, but like people like Edda have 40% built in as part of their reaction, I think it is. So it's like, it's not very good. At rank 3, you're going to want to get both of these probably. But I prioritize the left one first because I think it's better. But they're both actually pretty good. But the passive one is like her main deal here that you're gonna need. After attacking, you get hidden fragrance on the target for 2 turns. So even if you have to move really far to hit a target, like you have to move your full distance because they were out of your range, you hit them, you'll still be able to get hidden fragrance on them, which is good. It does it last 1 turn? I don't know, but this will basically, not before you hit them, but after you hit them, they will get that debuff then, right? Because you're going to be close enough to hit them. So as long as you're within 3 tiles, they are going to get that debuff. So this is like fine. This is whatever. It's not great. It's like a hangman's mark, but the second part is where it gets good. If they already do have the hidden fragrance, you are going to recover 2 energy just for attacking them with anything. And then if you defeat them when they have hidden fragrance, you're going to heal a bunch. So I wish it just gave her lifesteal. I think that'd be better. But really, getting 2 energy is going to be super important because her ultimate doesn't have a cooldown and it's expensive. So this is good because you want to be hitting enemies with hidden fragrance because they're already debuffed in general. And so you're going to be doing more damage and you're going to be keeping your energy up, be able to use your strong stuff. However, on the other side here, you have a really good attack. This is just a great attack. Single target attack at a range 3. 150% damage, and you inflict hidden fragrance on all enemies within 2 tiles of the target. So you hit 1 target, it's single target, but then it kind of blows up with smelly salts, and then everyone gets smelly salts on them within 2 tiles. And so it is a way to AoE debuff the enemies with like a cool aura effect that can't be resisted or anything like that. Especially this is more if they're outside your range. As you can see here, I just don't think it's top priority. But if you do this every single time you do this, that you basically get to, if you always attack it, you can do this every turn. So, right, so she could do 150% every turn for basically 0 energy, or for net, you know, because she'll still generate an energy because this gives her 2, and then at the end of the turn she'll generate 1. So she's very energy efficient when you have Scent to Trace. At rank 5, you have a pretty average one here. Decrease damage by 8%, and after being attacked, you get damage 3. You don't want her to get attacked, I don't think. She doesn't seem like a character that wants to be attacked. She seems like to be a character that wants to be, she's a ranged seeker. This is not the character you want to be attacked. She doesn't have dodge built into her kit from what I could see. I don't believe so. Even though she could lower someone's attack, but like, just don't let her get hit. When hit by an active attack from the enemy with hidden fragrance, damage taken is reduced by 30%. So this is better. This is like, you're not trying to get attacked, but if you do get attacked, you will actually, you know, negate more damage. Combined with the fact that I guess if you had Battle Fever, maybe that stacks, but it's never making it on your bar. Rank 7. Assault is fine, but this character is not like it. This is not your damage dealing seeker. They could deal damage and they're reasonable at it, but I don't think you want to go all in. You don't want the crit and movement. The movement's less good on a ranged character. They already have a passive crit debuff, and then I don't think that this is good enough. However, on rank 7, you also get Scent Tracker, a passive. At the start of the turn, if there are enemies within 4 tiles of her with hidden fragrance, you get crit 2, which is nice, right? It's 30% crit, but you get to increase her maximum range by 1. And then after you attack, you get after you crit, you get to move 2 tiles. That most of this is not that good, but increasing the maximum range by 1 is pretty good. And there's a bunch of stuff on it as well. Like there's a bunch of other words, right? I think Lily Will has like just like increased range on all of her abilities with the passive. This is that with a stipulation, but with more upside, right? Because you also get the crit 2 and stuff, and you can move after getting a crit. So overall, this is pretty good because the 30%, let's say you have the other 8 to 15% on there. I mean, even without any buffs to your own crit besides this, like you're already looking at around a 50-50, I feel like, the crit. And she actually has a guaranteed crit in her very next skill here, so this part's less relevant. But increasing your range by 1, again, it's going to make things like Hypnosis go to 4. It's going to make things like this other ability here go to 4, which is just, that's suddenly we're looking at a lot of range for a seeker, right? It's also, that means she's going to be able to easily target like breakers, right? And deal a good amount of damage to them from a pretty far distance and not having to get herself in danger, which is why I think most of the defensive abilities aren't that good, because she's going to be pretty far away. Rank 9, you have a 30% chance to inflict sleep, whatever. Your normal attack, this is what's crazy actually, is the normal magic attack, it does 80% magical damage, right? At a range of 1 to 2. This is a range of 1 to 2, and it does 90% magical damage. It's just a straight upside. It's not like the same amount of damage with more upside. It's more damage with more upside. So this is actually a really good basic attack. One of the best basic attacks in the entire game. Not as good as Simona's sword. I think Simona's sword might literally be the best basic attack in the game. Maybe it's arguable. because like barrel can sometimes stun, I suppose, which is like whatever. But I actually think that this is pretty. This is definitely a contender for the best basic attack in the game. Single target attack deals 90% magic damage. If you're adjacent to the target and they have hidden fragrance, this is actually interesting. So if you're adjacent to a target with hidden fragrance, she'll perform an additional attack, dealing 50% of her magic attack as physical damage, which is guaranteed to be a critical hit. So not only, basically, if she puts herself in danger, if you have this, by the way, keep in mind, you can move 2 after landing a critical hit. The maximum range doesn't matter as much, but basically you're doing 90% damage and then you're doing a 50% guaranteed crit, meaning you could just do as much crit damage build as you want. And this is like a pretty reasonable attack. If you don't have your energy up for something, I mean, 90% at a range of 3, if you have someone around you with this, is great. 90% at a range of 3 is a very good 0 energy ability. Combined with the fact that if you can get adjacent to them, now the way this is worded, this implies to me, if you're next to someone, if you're here, maybe I'll use this. If you're in this square, right, and then there's an enemy with hidden fragrance right here next to you, but you actually attack this guy over here, it might work still. You might have to attack the adjacent target. It's not 100% clear to me, because if she's adjacent to a target with hidden fragrance, it doesn't say if she attacks a target with hidden fragrance, but it does use the word target. So I'm like, all right, this is adjacent, but maybe if you target over here, it will still work. I haven't actually practiced that. But worst case scenario is you need to run up to someone's face, hit them really hard in the face. But again, a 50% crit is pretty good. Crit does, I think, double damage. Maybe in this game it doesn't deal double damage, but I mean, still, that's actively way more damage. It's 140%, but it's really even more than that. It's a great attack. Very good basic attack for sure. A little situational, but I do really like it. Once you get to rank 11, Life Devourer, not very good. 3 energy, 150% damage. Yeah, it has lifesteal, but also down here you have 150% damage with a AoE debuff, less energy, and just more range, better ability. This ability is good, it's fine, but it's like you're never going to use it because this character has a better ability right here. Penetrating Hasna? Is it Hasna or Hansa? Hasna. Also, I just want to say, Hasna is my 69th character. She was my 69th character, and that is not a lie. I am not joking. All right. Single target attack. She deals 140% damage. Damage is increased to 170% against enemies with hidden fragrance. So 170 is a pretty good chunk. Not a lot of things just easily hit for that. Like, yes, there are characters now that can do that, but it is a pretty high percent. Also, it is at a range of 3, which is actually even more rare. Before attacking, her crit and crit damage are increased by an additional 15%. So you're more likely to crit with this. You are going to do more damage. So this is like her big damage ability. So if they have hidden fragrance, you're doing 170% with an additional chance to crit and additionally doing more crit damage. You're also getting, an additional crit buff here. But more importantly, you're going to be recovering 2 energy and an additional 1 at the end of the turn. So even though this costs 4, you really get 3 energy back for using it. So if you have a decent amount of energy, you can do this turn after turn after turn, which is pretty darn good. Then if you defeat stuff, you're healing a bunch as well. So overall, like, this is kind of a super damage ability, but it's like she's not really a damage dealer. You're mostly going to want to use her, I think, for her debuffing AoE. And then she's also coincidentally going to be able to deal some damage. Overall, it's going to sound weird, but I think she's probably just worse than Magnus. Magnus fulfills a very similar role, but he has Warcry, which is like a better buff. Magnus is like less interesting and more of a one-trick pony. She has more stuff going on, but I actually don't even know if she's better. But she is still a cool character, and I really, really do like this Murderous Phantom attack. But this is the build I'm going with right now. However, slightly more built as a damage dealer, mostly because I just wanted the energy regeneration thing, but I'd probably switch this out to do more AoE debuffs. As for her damage here, you basically are going to want to do single target stuff, right? I mean, you could just go with a bunch of HP, but like a lot of the staffs aren't actually built for it, right? AoE damage, AoE damage, AoE damage. So what you're probably going to want to use, the one I would either use the Starry Sky Heritage, which is great, always good, but I wouldn't want to use it on her necessarily. I think she is a focused wand person. When unharmed, Increase the maximum range of single target skills by a tile and increase your magic attack by 6% when launching a single target attack. This is perfect for her. It does everything you want her to do. In fact, I'm going to just equip it on her right now. I don't remember why I didn't have it on her, but this is basically what you want, right? It's going to take this ability is going to go up from 2, then this is going to bring it 3. It's going to go to 4. This ability is going to go to 3, 4, 5. So you're going to be at a range 5. Like hidden fragrancing people, although I probably would, because again, you have to be within 3 tiles to actually give them the debuff. That's not necessary. You don't need the debuff to get the additional effects of hitting them with like this, right? Of getting the energy back and getting the bonus damage, but you do want to lower their stats. So you do want to get within 3 tiles. So it's not like this is like, again, this is going to be better when she's a higher level, but it is the only thing that increases the target of the damage of single target damage. As far as the trinket here, honestly, I don't think anything is that particularly like, whoa, this is so important and synergistic. I would probably just take something like, I like sorting by rarity. How fast is she? 151. Yeah, honestly, for the trinket here, there's nothing. It's not like a gust where it's like he has like an armband that's like super fucking good with him. All these are like just pretty reasonable. Nothing here seems like it's extra good. She doesn't have alert abilities. You could do the Maverick's cloak because she has a long range. She could stay far away, but I don't think it's that good. The spring pill is like not incredibly synergistic, but it's like fine because you want her to be unharmed. So I'd probably end up running the spring pill on her because I want her to be unharmed to have the increased range. And so if she does get hit, I want her to be able to heal back up because she doesn't have self-healing outside of execution. Now, as far as the tarots, crit damage is great. You could just go for the crit damage. You can go for, I kind of like judgment, honestly, but because you want to be close, but you don't want to be too close. So Course of Fortune is pretty good. Judgment is pretty good because at the end of the turn, you're dispelling buffs from enemies within 2 tiles, and you're applying judgment, which increases the damage they take. So this is pretty good. It's what I use on Magnus, but Magnus doesn't need to be like, Magnus wants to be closer than she does, I think. So I would probably end up just going for like, because she's not really ever buffing allies. She does almost all single target damage. So again, I'm probably just going to go with increasing her crit. She has a guaranteed crit chance. She has a guaranteed way to crit on her basic, even though you got to jump through a couple hoops. And then outside of that, there's not that much that's like actually insane. She basically doesn't target anyone besides herself. And yeah, I mean, Wheel of Fortune's always good, but it doesn't like proc a bunch of extra stuff here. So you're probably just looking at Justice, honestly, unless you really, really, really want to like keep her healed up. Maybe you could do something like the Moon. What is the Moon's secondary effect? Let's just take a quick look really quick because I don't know if I have any. I've never even leveled up a Moon. I don't even know because I'm like, oh, this ability sucks. Let's level up 1, see if we get it. Just 1, because I don't want to do it in the video for the sake of length. There we go. Magic defense 43. That's the secret effect there. But yeah. So overall, I think this character is very, very mid. It's probably the weakest character they've released since launch. It's not the weakest character in the game. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing like that. But the weakest new character they've released is probably this character, I would say. But it doesn't mean she's bad. Like, I think that her and Magnus are actually very comparable. I think she's like better. She does more damage at a further range and has more flexibility within her kit. However, Magnus may not have as much flexibility in his kit. Well, what is her tags here? A Drifter and Alacrity. But he has Cry of Victory. Not only does he passively lower their attack and their defense, he also gives a consistent attack down 2 to the enemy and a damage up 2 to all your allies. His damage is not very good, in my opinion. But he also has a great fortitude thing here, right? He makes it so you decrease damage taken by 10% if healthy, and all your fortitude allies are immune to the injured status, which is very good. So overall, I would say they fill similar roles. And I know it's like a physical and a magical, ranged and melee. She's probably better at like getting hidden fragrance on a bunch of people, but she still has to be close to them, and it's not automatic. So I'm not super impressed with her, but that doesn't mean she's not useless in any stretch of the imagination. Like, she could be used in a lot of content, and she will be very good for you. If you happen to do a couple multis and you get her, you'll be good. In fact, you want to know? Let's see how much I spent on her, because I meant to mention this at the beginning of the video and I totally forgot. Hey there, baby. Like, again, some of these are see-through when they want it to be, like, so you can see her body right there. But you know, we don't need to talk about it. Also, what's that snake doing, bro? What's it wrapping around? But if we look at my history here, if we take a look on 11.8, 11.6, I got Leonide, and then I'm not joking. This is where right here, I got Sophia, and then on the 17, I did 2 polls, and then I did some polls on the 18th. This is where most of my content creation currency ended. I got a dupe of Sophia, and then I spent all my remaining content and I cleared all the stuff because I got my 50-50 on August after scraping through to get gems on story mode that I had missed. So I got my 50-50 on August. Then I did 2 polls, got nothing. 2 single polls. Then I did a single and I got Leonide, which is the one I wanted from that banner. And then I did 1 multi and I got Hasna. So the game says, hey, we know that the content creation program's over, so we're going to help you out. The luck is going to be over, right? I had 4,500 gems and now I have 3,200 gems. It's like I get 2 multis for the next character and I have no pities. I have no pities at all because I just pulled the character, but still. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all for this one. Cool character. I like her a lot, but like also I just don't know how much use she's going to get in my account outside of like me printing out a couple pictures of her, but that's like pretty much it. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye! Turning on the screen.